continue to inspire and excite the world. Together, we are spreading a message of respect and equal opportunity for all individuals.
Danny, would you like to say a few words to our group?
Hello, my name is Danny Scrivano, and I would like to first thank all members of the Shelby Township Lions Club for inviting me to come tonight to share my story. I would especially like to thank Dr. Gwinta giving you all my information. I am 17 years old, and I have lived in Shelby Township my whole life. I am a junior at Eisenhower High School, and I have two brothers, one older and one younger. I had a stroke when I was two years old. Because of my stroke, I am paralyzed on the right side of my body. I wear a leg brace to help me walk and run and do everything one-handed. My parents were scared, but I don't remember any of it. My mom found CHASA, the Children's Hemiplegia and Stroke Association, and we finally met other families with kids like me. I have lots of friends from CHASA. My passion is sports, and I don't remember a time when I wasn't playing catch or shooting hoops. I am lucky that everyone in my family loves sports, from my grandparents to my parents, my brothers, aunts and uncles, and cousins. Every family gets together, always involves some kind of competition. We play volleyball, softball, and basketball. My grandpa even made a large traveling trophy for our family ping pong tournaments. I started playing Little League baseball, basketball, and football through Shelby Parks and Rec when I was 5. Then I played a few years of football with the Shelby Lions. When I went to Mallow Junior High, I tried out for and made the football and basketball team. I also began running track in 9th grade. I started playing tennis for Eisenhower, and I will start my 4th year on the varsity tennis team. Along the way, I've also played soccer, done bowling, and I've played ping pong for fun with my dad and my brother. Now I am dreaming for big and having my sights on the Paralympic Games. I met my first goal by being named the 2014 U.S. Junior National Para Table Tennis Team. I'm practicing harder than ever, training and playing 3 to 4 times per week. I will be traveling all summer representing Team USA. Your support will help me achieve my goals. Not only do I want to make it to the Paralympics, but I want to be an example for younger kids who think they can't play sports because they have a disability. I want to show them that anything is possible with our hard work and determination. My momager has more information on how you can support me. Thank you.
Great job, Dan. Thanks again for inviting us here to share Danny's story, to share our goal with you. Danny is seriously working toward making the Paralympic Games. What's really great about the Paralympics is it is getting some media coverage with Sochi and Amy Purdy on Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if anyone's seen that. we're gonna, very quickly, I'm gonna take a few more minutes just to, talk to you a little bit about Danny. He was born in 1997. His journey actually began before he was born because he had tumors on his lungs in utero, where there was a 5% chance that Danny was even gonna survive then. So he keeps beating the odds and overcoming everything, and so the Paralympics should be nothing compared to what he's overcome. So after Danny was born, he actually surprised everybody because he ended up being pretty okay when he was born, but he still had a small tumor on his lung. So he was developing like all our other kids. Had his first birthday, his second birthday. He was playing sports, doing all the things little kids do. And the doctor suggested that he should have surgery to remove the tumors because they were starting to grow. So he had this surgery to remove the tumors on his lung, and 2 days later, he had a blood clot that went to his brain and caused a stroke. Now, what I'd like to do, he was recently, this is a little faster than me talk, because my favorite thing is to brag about my kid, but we only have so much time. Danny was recently interviewed by State Champs TV this past fall, and they talk a little bit about Danny's story. So you saw a video about the Paralympics and how that's gaining momentum throughout the world. Now I just want to share a little story of Danny via video, which is a lot more fun because you get to see Danny playing some of his sports and them talking about him. So we're going to share a little video about Danny, and then I'm going to come back real quick at the end.
We are very proud of our new partnership this season with Right Philippus, a company dedicated to bringing hope and a quality of life to those of us who need it. Following our Two Champions special on double amputee Jesus Villa and his incredible athleticism and competitiveness in wheelchair basketball, wrestling, and sled hockey, the great people at Right Philippus said, why don't we celebrate success stories like Jesus from our great state all year long? Sounds like an awesome idea. We present our first installment, and we call it No Limits.
Utica Eisenhower Jr. Dan Scrivano is just like any other high school kid. He studies hard, he's preparing for college, and just like the rest of his family, he's passionate about sports. His journey has been a remarkable one. Just after his second birthday, Dan went to Children's Hospital to have a cyst removed from his lungs, but a couple of days later, complications arose. Danny could no longer talk or move his right side. Doctors were confused with what was happening until a CT scan revealed Danny had a blood clot in his brain. He had a stroke.
An absolute shock. We had no idea what it meant. We had no idea it could happen in babies, children.
But as time passed through therapy and determination, Dan not only got back to walking and talking, whatever limitations people may have thought he had, didn't stop Dan from getting into a whole lot of Shelby Township sports in a big way. Baseball, swimming, track and field, you name it, he did it all, and did it well. Of course, right now, it's all about tennis.
I'm passionate about it. I love to play, I love to watch tennis. The sophistication of it, it's very high level.
Last year, Danny's doubles team advanced to states and won a match in number 4 doubles. His coach knows he's one of the biggest competitors on the courts.
Danny as a tennis player really comes from Danny as a person. Danny's a tough kid, just competes to the maximum in every situation.
He's competitive at everything, whether it's a drag-out ping pong battle with his brothers. Danny also has a strong passion for football. His parents didn't step in the way.
When he wanted to play tackle football, he'll say that I was panicked, but I wasn't. I said, go for it.
I like the tackling part. It's a lot of fun. And I just get to hit hard and have fun.
Dan wears a brace around his right leg, and he was just too small for Ike football in high school, so he got into tennis. And Danny mastered the craft of the one-arm serve. Dan advanced to the state finals for the second straight year recently, but has incredible opportunities in another sport, track and field. He's just one of 55 high school All-American Paralympians in the country. Recently, Dan went to Ohio as a part of an elite Paralympic training camp. Some of the best young Paralympic athletes in the country were there.
After like the first day, it felt normal to me. It was very intense and competitive. For like the races, they're all close and dead even.
Danny has competed in a few Paralympic style events, regional and national at the junior level, and his results are in their system, and they have identified him as having potential to maybe make it to the U.S. Paralympic trials.
So Danny continues to strive on and off the courts. He'll try out for the Eisenhower varsity basketball team soon and perhaps one day compete for this country.
If he can do what he does with his disabilities, then imagine the possibilities for me are endless. And for him to be as good as he is, it's just inspiring. I just say never underestimate me.
No way, Dan. No way. No Limits is presented by Wright and Philippus. First to serve, first to care.
I love that. Thanks for letting us show that for you. So Danny, all his life he's played sports. Most of the sports that Danny has played have been in and around Shelby Township. He's played Little League baseball, he's played, like we said, football, basketball, bowling, soccer, you name it, we never stopped him. Then we found out about adaptive sport for athletes with disabilities, and Danny started competing at the regional and national adaptive sports, starting with the Victory Games, which are held every year. In fact, they're going to be held in the next couple of weeks at Michigan State University. So this was the first time Danny went to an event and actually competed against athletes who also have disabilities. Danny always competes against athletes who are able-bodied athletes, which is a great way to train, by the way. So that first got us into adaptive sport. This is a lot of history on the Paralympics, which that video talked about, so we can skip right past that. But on this page, I would like to mention that Paralympics is a combination, Robbie, if you can go back to the Paralympics, is a combination of two words, para and Olympic. And para, a lot of people think means paralyzed. It actually means parallel. So it means to run alongside all athletes together. So the Olympics are held every 4 years. Summer, we just had the Winter Olympics, and then the Paralympics were held the 2 weeks after the Olympics. So para means parallel, not paralyzed. Kind of interesting. Next slide. So again, Danny played all kinds of sports. The school sports were great. 70 kids tried out for the junior high basketball team, and Danny was one of 15 that made it on his basketball skill alone. Then he started playing varsity tennis for Eisenhower High School and has been very successful, actually the 4th best player on the team. And then we started, that's his varsity jacket, he got that when he was a sophomore. Then all kinds of media attention. He's been interviewed, a huge article ran in the Detroit News this fall. He was interviewed by legendary writer Mick McCabe for the Detroit Free Press. Also was interviewed at Ferris State when he attended a tennis camp there, and State Champs TV, and the media keeps coming for Danny. Other para-adaptive events that he's attended, Thunder in the Valley Games at Saginaw Valley State University. He's been to 2 events there where he's done table tennis and track and field. Those regional events have qualified him for the National Junior Disability Championships, of which he's attended 2 of those events. One was in Michigan, and last year we went to, where did we go?
California.
No, Minnesota for the National Junior Disability Championships. He played table tennis and he did some track and field. And coaches there suggested that we go to San Diego in December of 2013, so this is pretty recent, to compete in the only international table tennis competition in the United States. So we went there. That was the Mike Dempsey Memorial Table Tennis Tournament. Danny was part of Team USA there, and there were about 35 countries represented. The top para table tennis players in the world were there. You can see Danny playing an athlete from Kenya on the lower left and playing an athlete from Korea in the lower right. So he had his work cut out for him, learned a lot. We got information about a coach. And in February, Danny was excited to find out that he was named to the U.S. Junior National Table Tennis Team. He's one of only 6 in the entire country to be named to the junior team. So the next goal would be to be named to the national team, and the individuals on the national team are the ones who make it to the Paralympic Games. So he's well on his way. He's also been identified in track and field, so we're letting him do both. He's been to one United States Olympic Committee invitation-only training camp back in October. He's going again on May 14th to the Olympic training site in Chula Vista. Next slide, Rob. Keep going. Oh, did you go to the Spire one? So he's going to be attending 2 Olympic Training Center sites for track and field. So right now he's trying to do both. We feel like his best opportunity may be table tennis. So what we did once he was named to the team and came back from San Diego, next one, back, yep, right there. That's Robbie, my tech support here. So the first thing we did is we hired an Olympic coach, John Bosica out of the Davison Athletic Club. He coached the 96 women's Olympic table tennis team, and he's currently coaching and running the table tennis program up in Davison. So we hired him, and Danny's training with him once a week. It's an hour drive. And he's also competing in table tennis tournaments. He has a great national ranking or rating. And he practices at the Rochester Table Tennis Club, which is held at Hart Middle School. Very excited that he has his driver's license because he takes himself to that, which is great. Again, he's doing tournaments every month regionally. We've been to South Bend. We're going to Rockford, Illinois at the end of May. He's going to be in the U.S. Open in Grand Rapids in July, so we're really getting him involved in as many competitions as he can. And most of these events, he's competing against able-bodied athletes. When he gets to the Paralympics, it's all athletes with disabilities. But training against able-bodied athletes is the best thing a Paralympian can do. Very exciting news. I received an email about 10:30 at night about 2 months ago that Danny has been invited by USA Table Tennis to travel to Romania and Barcelona in June, and he is going, and to compete internationally to earn international factor points that will qualify you for the Paralympic Games. So he and I are going to Romania and Barcelona on June 10th. We're going to be there for 2 weeks, and he'll be competing and training with the best coaches in the world. Next. So the reason why we're here, and again, Marianne and I see each other every week, and we talked about how expensive it is to train and raise a future potential Paralympian. You either have to be rich or know some people. So that's why we're here. Danny has an athlete development fund through the Wheelchair and Ambulatory Sports USA, where individuals, groups, organizations, companies can make a donation and be a sponsor of Danny's Paralympic dreams. I put on the screen what the expenses are, and this is just for table tennis and track and field alone. All of his tennis training we take care of ourselves because that's a Michigan high school rule. If you're playing a high school sport, you can't take money for that sport. But because table tennis is not a high school sport and Danny doesn't run track for the high school, he can receive funds for that. So coaching, a nice $100 a week for 2 hours of coaching with this Olympic coach, John Bosica, and he is very good. Danny has improved. He started in December, and he has really improved over the course of those months. The table tennis tournaments, all of those listed there, you pay entry fees, you have travel fees, you have hotel, you have your meals. So all the tournaments that he'll be competing in this year will be anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 total for the year for those expenses. Chaperone costs for the trip to Romania and Barcelona. It's wonderful. USA Table Tennis is paying all Danny's expenses, but they're not paying the momager expenses. And he's a minor, he's 17, he's never traveled domestically alone. So for his first international travel, I am going to be going with him. So that is $4,000 for me to go with him. His equipment. Did you bring your table tennis? He forgot his racket. It's called a racket in table tennis. I thought it was a paddle. And it's not ping pong, it's table tennis, although Danny likes to call it ping pong. But his rackets, he's using very high-level paddles, and they are about $150 a piece. And then the surfaces on the paddle need to be replaced every 2 months, and they're $40 for each side. So it's really amazing. I'm fascinated by how much the equipment is. His shoes, he has to wear 2 pairs of shoes because he wears a leg brace on his foot, so it makes his feet 2 different sizes. So when we're looking at buying a $100 to $150 pair of shoes, we have to buy 2 pair. So he needs table tennis shoes. And then the track and field tournaments will be $2,000, and then his track shoes will be $200 because we need to buy 2 pair. Next slide, Brad. So we are coming full circle. It's really great now that Danny's 17. He had a stroke at 2. At that time, we were looking to others for hope and inspiration, and now Danny's the one giving that to younger kids just starting on the journey. We belong to a group where there's thousands of families who have little babies who have strokes. Kids have strokes. They have them before they're born, they have them when they're born, they have them after they're born. So they write us notes all the time saying how they're signing their child up for basketball or baseball because of Danny. Someone's buying a ping pong table because of Danny. So now he's able to give back, and it's coming full circle. So the journey has been a great one. Mike and I, that's my husband Mike over there, he's the coach. I'm the momager, he's the coach. And we've had a blast. Our oldest son is 19, he's a sophomore at University of Michigan. Danny's 17 and Robbie is 14, and he's in 8th grade at Mallow. And they play sports all year round. Every sport you can think of, we never stop, and we love it. And Danny's no different. So the journey's been great, and now it's continuing. And Danny's on Team USA table tennis, and the goal is the Paralympic Games. So thank you again for joining us. We passed around flyers. If you are interested in helping out, we'd love to have you be part of Team Scrivano, and keep an eye out for that name because I think you're going to hear about him. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming out and making this presentation. I think I can speak on behalf of all of us to say that you're really an inspiration, and we wish you the very best in these competitions that are coming up. Okay? Thank you. At this point, Lion Pass District Governor John Wallace, would you come forward, please? It's still family time, John.
As I was saying, y'all lucky to have got the 2 good-looking ladies here tonight. You're home free, so probably all my 30-some years in the Lions Clubs International, that's probably one of the greatest presentations that I've ever been part of. And to the young man, Danny, I got a little something for you to take with you on your travels. And it's not much, but it's, when I was governor of District 11A2 way back when in 1860 or whenever that was, I had these pins made. And it's a personal pin from, that I had, and I passed out at conventions and everything. And I'm going to give you one, and you can keep it with you if you like. Remind you of your visit here. And you can keep that, keep it with you. You don't have to wear it, you know. And by doing that, you're going to carry the Shelby Township Lions Club with you wherever you go. Romania or wherever your travel takes you, you're going to have Shelby Township Lions Club with you. Okay? And good luck to you, to the momager, and to you and your brothers, the dad. And once again, tonight you've seen everybody paid strict attention and followed everything you had to say. Usually they talk, eyes wander, but tonight, these are the greatest guys ever, and they gave their full attention to you and your son and your husband and brothers in that. So I'll just close out just by saying that, You impressed me, and God be with you. Good luck. And Shelby Lions Club's always with you, okay, Dan?
Thank you very much.
Before we install the